Hello do-it-yourselfers, Terry Peterman, the internet electrician here, and welcome to the floor of my living room where I'm going to just show you some devices I found, some wiring devices that kind of solve a problem that's always been a bit of an issue now. I don't know if these have been around for a while and I just haven't noticed them, but what a great little device. What it is, it's from Commercial Electric. It's a hole saw brush wall plate. So what it does is you just drill a hole into your wall with a hole saw. This little plate inserts nicely into that hole, and just kind of like an old work box, when they go into the hole and you tighten the screws, the little wings come out, clamp it into the drywall. What a great solution for audio visual wiring. What I've got here is my subwoofer from my Vizio system. It's wireless to here, to the in behind the sofa, is where it's going to sit for the subwoofer, but then the rear speakers in the surround sound system are wired to the subwoofer. So I want to put these in the wall, on the wall, and have the wiring in the wall. So I'm going to mount one on each side of the sofa here up high. I'll show you that after. And I'm going to use 3 of these. So one is going to be to bring these wires out of the subwoofer, as you can see here. Lots of wires, a power cord, and then the 2 left and right rear speaker wires. Going to bring the rear speaker wires into the wall, drop one down through the floor into my crawl space, and the other one I'm going to fish up and mount another one of these behind one of the speakers. And the other one on the other side, after I go down through the crawl space, back up on the other side, mount another one of these, and that should solve a lot of wiring mess here. As you can see, they come with a lot of wires. So in my other house, I had all this stuff just coiled up behind and tucked away as best I could. But here where I have access to the crawl space, I want to be able to hide this wiring. So I'll just give you a close-up of these. So it's got brushes there, so that when the cord goes through it, it kind of seals itself around the cable and won't allow any insects or anything to crawl back out through that. So if I can just show you that on a speaker. There's the speaker and there's the back of it where the plug goes in. So I'll be basically just fishing that AV cable out through that plate and then plugging it in to the back of the speaker. And with any luck, I want to have that speaker mounted so that after it hangs into the hanger, it'll actually the cord will sit right on that plate, hiding the plate and everything, and all you'll see is that speaker sitting on the wall. So let's give this a try. But like I said, great little devices. I used to hide AV wires in the walls by just using low voltage plates, and then maybe a telco cable, or a cable plate I should say, or a modular telco or Ethernet plate. Just leave the modules out and run cables through the hole. But wow, this is much better. So like I say, I'm not sure they've been making them for a while and I haven't seen them. But now that I know about them, I'll be using them in lots of projects. So let's get this one going. So looking at the corner of this pony wall, this is where I'm going to have the speaker sitting, the subwoofer. So right in behind here, I've used my stud finder and found out there's a hollow space here without a stud. So I'm going to cut in one of these plates here to run the speaker wires from the subwoofer out through it. And I'm going to probably keep it low enough that it's behind the subwoofer itself. Then I got to go under into the crawl space, measure out and find that wall and drill up through it so I can fish the wires in. Like I said, one going down to the other side, one going to be above it on the wall where the speaker goes. So I'll show you that. But first I'm going to drill my holes and get all these plates ready to install. Then we'll go from there. All right, so I think my speaker is going to sit right here behind the sofa, right at the corner here. And I want to hide the through wall here. So I had to check with my stud finder, and it appeared that this was a cavity the whole way, but I always like to use just a screwdriver or something that's an easy patch to make sure. And sure enough, this is where I wanted to go, and I've got a stud behind there. So I moved this way, and there's wood behind there. So I move this way, and now I found the cavity, but it's not very big. So that's the miracle of drywall spackle. I'll have to fill those holes, and I'm going to try to make my hole right here. Now I might run into wood on both sides, but I'm hoping to carve it out enough to get this little guy stuck in the hole. And then I'm gonna have to hope that straight above that, there's still a cavity there for the speaker location. All right, so I am right between two studs here. I've only got about 1 inch of space between them, and I need 1 3/4 inches for this. So I'm gonna have to keep drilling here, take out a little bit of the wood studs on each side to make this fit. And just check to gone deep enough, gone the depth of the hole saw, and that's plenty to make this fit. So we'll just pick out the edges of the stud there that are still in place, and then I'm going to go over to the crawl space and measure and drill up into that spot. I'll make another hole above here. All right, so my first hole is drilled. Let's do a little test fit. Slides right in, no problem. So now I'll do my other holes. Oh, and I'm just left with that little itty bitty hole to patch. Don't tell Sandy. Okay, I got my 3 holes drilled. Good news, right above that same little channel between the 2 studs. So that's excellent. And then I put another one just measuring the same height. And where am I? The same height and the same distance from the inside of this little alcove opening into the front entry. So now I got to go down in the hole, the crawl space. Now that's usually not a real bad thing, and this one isn't too bad. It's got rough concrete scrawled all over the floor, so it's not a dirt crawl space, but it's not very high. I've only got about 2.5 feet of room, or 3 feet of room at best. So I bought myself a little garage creeper to run around down there. So I lay on there like laying on a surfboard and scoot all over and get my hole drilled, measuring carefully from the bottom up, and then I can fish all these cables around. So I won't take the camera down there because that'll just be cumbersome and difficult, but I'll see you back at the surface. Okay, I'm back from the dungeon, and I had to drill from the bottom up. And when you have a helper, it's always important to have your communication down pat. So I'm down there saying, can you hear where the bit is? She says it's to the front. And I said, front yard or backyard? And she misunderstood me or didn't understand what I was saying, and I didn't understand what she was saying. So I angled the bit towards the backyard, and out I came just under the baseboard, luckily right at the edge of the wall. So I'll be able to just tack this baseboard back on. No damage done. So once I had a hole here, I had a great landmark to know that I had to be just over here about 3.5 inches. So got all the wires fished in. Next we'll just put on the little through ports and close it up. Okay, I've got everything done except this last one. So I'm gonna feed the cable through the back and out through the brushes and feed all that cable through. We got lots of excess here because this speaker ends up being right below the subwoofer. So I'm gonna poke all that excess back into the wall cavity. But right now, there you have it. Gonna shove that into the hole that we drilled. Make sure the little wings are up and level. And then push it into the hole. Nice snug fit. Now you want to shove these screws in and then turn until those wings flip up. Grab onto the drywall. Top one, felt it snug up. Bottom one, it's snugging up. So tug on it, it's in there nice and tight. It's level. Now I found out these are the little brackets that hold the speakers onto the wall, and they actually hold the speaker out far enough that the wire's not going to be a problem. It's not going to hold the speaker out behind, so I can totally bury that through port and have the plug still sitting there, not pushing out and holding the speaker crooked or anything. So for mounting the other one, I know I put this tiny bracket about center, or exactly center, and about 1/2 inch above the wall plate. And I'm just using wood screws, nice coarse thread wood screws, knowing I'm not going into any wood, just the drywall, but I always start with a wood screw when you know you're going into drywall anyway. See if it holds. If you get a good grip, a good bite on it, then nothing lost if it does tear out later, because then you can use a wall anchor. But now I got a good tight snug fit there. Now I'm going to shove all this excess speaker wire into the wall cavity. Okay, finish shoving all the excess in there. I'm going to turn this plug, this angle plug, there's the angle, so it's up. And then shove that last bit of excess in there, hook the speaker on, and there you go. Both speakers are mounted. So there you have it, another complete installation. This is of the hole saw brush wall plate from Commercial Electric. Great for hiding your audio-visual cables in the wall behind the TV or stereo components, or, as we did here, my surround sound speakers. So please like this video and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell as well, so then you'll be the first to know when I post a new video. Terry Peterman, the Internet Electrician.